So welcome back to another rebuild here on NBA 2K24 Next Gen. In today's video, we are going to be continuing with the rebuild challenges. You guys enjoyed the first one. Today we are back with another, and it is the worst to first rebuild challenge. So this is a challenge I do multiple times throughout every single cycle of 2K, and it's pretty much as self-explanatory as it gets. Got to start out being the worst team in all of basketball. Obviously, the end goal being by the end of the video, being the best, winning a championship. Basically as simple as it sounds. This one's always fun. We're going to be doing this one in a fantasy draft style today. And to make it just a little bit harder, we're going to let the CPU draft the entire team for me. And as always, let me know any other video ideas down below in the comment section. I know you guys do really enjoy the rebuild challenges, so if you guys have any you really want to see, whether it's, rebuild challenges I've done in previous years or ones that you're just thinking of right now, let me know down below in the comment section. I'm always up for a good challenge. It definitely spices some things up. So, yeah, man, I'm really excited for this one today. It's the first one of 2K24, and these are always a blast. So, without further ado, let's get into it. So as I mentioned, we're going to do this one in a fantasy draft style. It makes everything a little bit easier. If I went ahead and randomly selected the Thunder, obviously both with that young core, all their draft assets, going to make things a lot easier, just as an example. So I remembered to turn off previously traded draft picks, so we're good there. We're going to shut the eyes. We will randomly scroll, and we will stop here in 3, 2, and 1. We end up with the Phoenix Suns. They are our team. Let's draft this squad. I'll see you guys with the full team. Let's go ahead and take a full look at the team that the CPU went ahead and drafted for us. I hope it was young players. And we're starting out with a really good young player here in Ja Morant. So he's a 92 overall already. He's only 24 years old. Obviously, real life, you have some off-court stuff, yada, yada, yada. Here in 2K, does not really matter as much. Backing him up is going to be Trey Jones. Nice, really young, solid piece. Again, definitely could be a good rotation guy for me throughout the entirety of today's video. We have Derek White, who apparently, according to experts, is not a top 100 player in the NBA. Those experts can go fuck themselves because he 1000% is. 82 overall, maybe a little bit on the older side at 29 already, but this isn't something I'm necessarily terribly worried about throughout a 3-year rebuild. Josh Christopher is here, and then RJ Hampton, both relatively young, maybe a little bit of potential on one, or if not both of those players right there. Small forward spot is definitely an interesting one because Matisse Thybulle, we kind of know what he is today at the professional level. Obviously, really good defensive player, not so much involved in the offensive side of things. Cam Whitmore is going to be good. I think that's the simplest way to say it. He's 19 years old, fell in the draft to what, number 20? Yeah, number 20 overall. And he's here today in this video, and I'm very excited about that. Marjon Beauchamp looks like he could be taking a step for the Milwaukee Bucks this season. You got Tingus Pingus here, Mr. Kristaps Porzingis. His first season with the Celtics has been very, very good so far. So we're going to figure that out. He'll likely be on this team the entire time if we can suck bad enough to be, the worst team in year one. Nasir Little is here on a 4-year contract. Then you got Lamar Stevens as well. A lot of Celtics on this team right now. And then the center spot here, you got Bobby Portis Jr., one of the best sixth men in all of basketball. Clint Capella. And then you got Sandro here, who I cannot pronounce his name or his last name for the life of me. It just does not happen. So obviously two really good centers right there. I mean, if we take a look at this team right now, I think it's a safe assumption that this will not be the worst team in the league. And obviously we have to do that at some point or another. So whether it's this year or next year, I'd rather it be this year because, if we suck this year but aren't, the worst team, we still have to suck next year. It's just another added year, basically, for no reason whatsoever. So we might make some trades right now. I might try to pick up some draft assets. Some of these trades are not going to look very pretty, but it's ultimately what we do have to do if we want to be really bad this year. So let's go ahead and do that. Our first trade is going to come with the Milwaukee Bucks, and it's going to send Bobby Portis to Milwaukee, and Derek Lively the second, along with the future second-round pick, are coming back here to Phoenix. Now, Derek Lively has looked good to start his rookie season. Do not get me wrong. That being said, I don't think he's better than Bobby Portis yet. So we're really doing this trade because he's a lower overall. Obviously, on that rookie contract is very nice. Would have been nice if we could have got a first-round pick in return. I actually might try to do that. I mean, Kevin Durant's on this team. It's not really going to be a valuable first, but if I can get a first-round pick, I'll obviously take it. So you want to do that? No, they want Josh Christopher for Isaiah Levers. I kind of want to hang on to Josh Christopher. I'm not going to lie. How about if I just throw you like a second-round pick? Can we call that a deal? You want RJ Hampton and Isaiah Levers. That I can do. That I can live with. All right, welcome to the team. Derek Lively II. He is going to be my starting center on day one, obviously at the lower overall. Definitely not going to help us win games as much as maybe somebody like Bobby Portis or Clint Capella would. But again, he's going to go ahead and hopefully be kind of a future piece for this rebuild. So definitely not done making trades, though. This trade actually makes me want to jump out of my own skin, but Kristaps Porzingis is literally just too good. I mean, as weird as that sounds, it's kind of how you have to go about these rebuilds. And Charlotte wants to give me back-to-back unprotected first-round picks for him. Again, maybe there are some players in here, obviously a lot of these players are good and they would have been beneficial to this team in the long run, but a lot of them would have helped us win games, which obviously is something we cannot do here in year one. So I'm making the trade with the Charlotte Hornets. Obviously not taking anybody back is, pretty good, I would say, on our part. I think the Charlotte Hornets will probably be relatively good, obviously. So maybe those picks won't be super valuable, but obviously, removing a really good player from this roster is going to help us not be so good. So Little and Stevens will likely be our 2 power forwards moving forward. Yeah, we got a lot of trades to go. We're now going to be sending Clint Capella over to the Oklahoma City Thunder for Jalen Noel and a top 3 future first-round pick this season. Obviously, it is great to go ahead and get another draft asset. It does suck to lose another really good player. Jalen Noel is somebody I definitely could just flip immediately. I'm trying to make the team bad enough where I don't have to trade Ja Morant, because obviously, if I move Ja Morant right now, really no matter who I got in return would likely be, still good, but not good enough where this team wouldn't be the worst team in the league. So I'm trying to avoid that situation at all costs, because I want to build around Ja today. I think he can be a franchise player for us in today's video. So I'm going to try to do everything I can to make that happen. So at this point in time, I'm really just looking for a draft pick. I don't really want anybody coming back to me, at least not anybody that's super valuable. So how about if I throw Jalen Noel in a deal with, let's say, I don't know, Isaiah Levers. Let's just glance at some of the offers that are out there. Again, I can't imagine it's anything too exciting, but I mean, just how about one player, maybe an overpaid player, and a first-round pick? Can we do that? Nope. No, nobody's feeling that. Thank you. Well, not overpaid, but a first-round pick nonetheless. Thank you very much. We acquired John Wall, who, again, is not really going to be valuable to me throughout today's video. Again, really just trying to trade for as much draft capital as possible. Thank you very much, Thunder. And, yeah, I'll see you guys with whatever's next. So I'm going to take what maybe is a little bit of a risk right now. I don't think this team is necessarily good, but any team with Ja Morant I think definitely can be competitive. So I have no idea if this team's going to be bottom of the barrel, maybe middle of the pack. I'm assuming we're going to be closer to worse than we are to the first. So I have to be last. That's just as simple as it gets. So if by the trade deadline, let's say we are somehow a good team, we are not even close to last place in the NBA, I'm going to have to make a big trade, if not before the trade deadline. So I'm going to risk it because I do want to hang on to Ja Morant. We will see. Obviously, him and Derek White in the backcourt. It's a very good backcourt. And then Matisse Thybulle, Nasir Little, and Derek Lively II is not the greatest 3 through 5. Obviously, we had upgrades there before. It is what it is for year one. Trey Jones will be my 6th man off the bench, followed by Justice Winslow, Josh Christopher, Lamar Stevens, and our friend Sandro here. I'm going to go ahead and actually send Cam Whitmore down to the... Okay, maybe I can't send anybody down to the G League. Well, he'll chill on the bench for now. It's because I don't have enough players signed, I don't think. But nonetheless, this team is obviously led by a star player, but there's really not much surrounding him. So I think we could be bad, which is obviously the goal. So I'll see you guys at the end of year one. We wrap up year one with a record of 19-63. I'm assuming, that's an assumption, that we were the worst team in the league. Now, I don't know that for a fact. It's an assumption, and hopefully it's one that comes true. Jason Tatum's your MVP. He is in a Warriors jersey. That makes me want to throw up as a Celtics fan. Victor Wembanyama is your Rookie of the Year. Yeah, I'm assuming those Charlotte Hornets picks that we have this year and next year are probably not going to be very good. Russell Westbrook's your 6th Man of the Year. He is a New Orleans Pelican. Nick Claxton's your Depoy. Naz Reid, Most Improved. Jason Tatum's your Clutch Player of the Year. Mark Daigneault is Coach of the Year. So moment of truth right now. Is 19 wins going to be the worst team, not only in the West, but in all of basketball? It is the worst in the West, and it is the worst in all of basketball. That is big. That is very, very big for us, because obviously we can now start working on, the first part of the worst to first challenge. So here's a look at the numbers. They're not exactly very pretty outside of Ja Morant. I mean, again, I don't really know what I was expecting, but it is what it is. So let's sim through this playoffs. Obviously not going to participate in these in year one for pretty obvious reasons. And hopefully we can go ahead and look for... Oh, my God, Jace. Jesus fucking Christ. That's fucking insane. Warriors going to win it all. JT is your finals MVP. All right, cool. So let's get into it. Let's get into offseason number 1 out of 2. Obviously, a very important offseason for us. And we are going to be projected the number 1 overall pick. We also have 11. It's projected from the Charlotte Hornets. Let's see where we fall. We actually do get number 1. That's the first time in a long time that I've been projected to get number 1 and gotten number 1. So that is big. We also have 11 from the Charlotte Hornets, and that's a really, really good spot to be in. Frank Vogel's here. He has some pretty good ratings, and obviously we did not exactly set him up for success in year 1. So he will stay for now. The number 1 overall pick is big. We also have 11. We have 19 from the Bucks, and then 29 in round 2 from the Thunder. So we definitely have some options right now. Hang with me. We're making a trade here with the Milwaukee Bucks. We're sending them number 29 overall and number 19 overall, along with a future second. I think I actually might have said 29 was a second-round pick. It was a first. My mistake, but we're picking up 2 future draft assets here from the Milwaukee Bucks. For me, I don't really need 4 first-round picks. It is what it is. But we are going to draft somebody at number 1, and it's going to be Ron Holland, I'm thinking. He's clearly ranked number 1 according to SN and 2K. I think it makes the most sense. We need a small forward. He is obviously a small forward. He's going to be my pick. So welcome to Phoenix. We also do have the 9th overall selection, which means we can definitely still get a good player and somebody that could potentially be a bench piece for me. So let's just see who else went, or not 9. Did I say 9? I meant number 11. There's definitely some good players that went here. Collier could have been fun, but we don't really need him. We have John Morant. All right, cool. So if I'm thinking like positionally or maybe like overall wise, these rankings are not so great for the guys that are left here. I've drafted a lot of these guys before, and they've actually ended up being pretty decent. What do I really need here? Isaac Amundsen, Isaac here is definitely in play for me. He's not really ranked the highest. Das Maris here definitely could be a good... Yeah, we're going to take a Das Maris. Maybe that's not the right pick, but we also do need a new big man. So, welcome to the team. 79 and 74 overall, respectively. Beauchamp will come back. Obviously, this is the time where we're going to get a little bit unrealistic. Not that the entire rebuild hasn't been unrealistic so far, but we're going to go probably make some big trades, maybe spend a little bit of money. Obviously, looking at this free agency class, there are some talented players here. A lot of them are on the older side, though, and in terms of money, we don't really have a ton right now. So, let's get into some trades. We're going to work on another deal with the Milwaukee Bucks. Feels like we've made a million trades with them so far throughout this video, but I need a starting center, and Jarrett Allen would definitely be that. Now, obviously, it sucks to give up Derek Lively. We did just draft Das Mara, though. He's going to come in and be the new backup. Derek Lively is going to get more minutes here, obviously, and Jarrett Allen's going to come in. He's going to be an upgrade. Obviously, that's what we're looking for at this point in time, and he's on a very nice contract, about $20 million a year. Matisse Thybulle just wasn't going to play. We just drafted Ron Holland. He wasn't going to play. So let's see if we can get this done. I don't really want to give up a ton of future assets. We don't really have a ton of other expendable players here. Marjon Beauchamp could be in this deal. He's not going to see minutes here. And then I do have some future draft assets. I don't really want to give up a ton, and it only takes 1 first-round pick, and Jarrett Allen is going to be our center moving forward. So Mara is going to be the backup here behind Jarrett Allen. We do have to figure out our power forward situation because, you know, Nasir Little is not going to cut it with all due respect. I wouldn't mind maybe going out and making a play for Pascal Siakam. It just looks like we're just really short on money right now. So that's kind of the unfortunate situation. We have no bird rights on any free agents. If I wanted to go out and sign Pascal Siakam, I'd probably have to trade both Derek White and then maybe even Little as well. So, I mean, it just depends. Can I get a really cheap shooting guard? Because Derek White is expiring and he is 30. As much as I love D. White in 2K, it might not be the best combination. So let's see what we can do. I'm attempting to make a trade right now with the Philadelphia 76ers and pick up Jalen Green. Now, Jalen Green is only 1 overall higher than Derek White, but he is significantly younger, and I think the potential is definitely a lot higher. So, Derek White and Nasir Little is my current offer. This obviously does not fix our, glaring power forward problem, but it is hopefully going to go ahead and allow us to make an upgrade at that shooting guard spot. So I'm also willing to give up my unprotected first next year because I know we're going to be good. I'm not trying to tank anymore. This is a really valuable chip, and I'm trying to cash it in right now. So how about Jalen Green? Did not think that was going to go through. I have some other draft capital I'm not necessarily thrilled to give up, and wow, we get it done. So Jalen Green and John Morant is going to be our backcourt. We have absolutely nobody to play the power forward spot right now, so that is definitely something we need to keep in mind. I mean, there's guys like Miles Bridges here. These are definitely options, but what I also might do is, how tall is Ron Holland? Ron Holland is 6'8", so maybe a bit undersized for today's NBA in terms of what a traditional power forward could be like. But, right here, I'm seeing a guy like OG Anunoby, who's 6'7", could easily slide to the 3, and I wouldn't mind picking him up at all. So let's make an offer here for OG Anunoby. We actually have about, $37 million. I just don't think that's enough for Siakam. Yeah, it's weird because it says we have the money. It's just not letting me offer Siakam for some reason, or maybe he just doesn't really have interest in coming here, but still should let me raise that money a little bit. I know we don't have Paul George money or anything like that, so it says we actually only have about $28 million to play with. I'm going to make an offer here to OG Anunoby. I mean, again, not exactly like a lethal scoring threat or anything, but he'd be an upgrade in this starting 5, and I'd be excited to have him. So we're going to go ahead and sign OG Anunoby. Everybody else is basically free to go, and we actually have a $36 million trade exception from the Kristaps Porzingis trade, so that is definitely something we can play around with. But OG Anunoby going to come in here. He is now going to go ahead and be my starting small forward. And, yeah, we're just going to move Ron Holland to the 4. So I think this is going to be a good fit. OG Anunoby actually jumps to an 85. Holland goes down to overall. It's not the end of the world. So I'm going to change some backup positions. We'll work on some actual backup players. We're going ahead and bring in Luke Kennard here on a 2-year deal. Those fucking eyes are scaring the shit out of me, but he's going to be obviously a great shooter off the bench for us. I think he's actually having a pretty tough year so far in real life. We're going to bring in him, and then I'm going to throw an offer out here to Kyle Anderson. He is 30, makes me a little nervous, but he's going to come off the bench. It's not the end of the world if he regresses an overall or two. So I don't think this is going to be the best team in the league by any means next year, but we've really set ourselves up well for some future success. Obviously, that is the really kind of the big breaking point, going from a year 1 worst team to a year 2 worst team, because if we weren't the worst team in the league, obviously I have to tank another season, and then obviously that kind of hinders what I can do in one off season. So we will have 2 off seasons. Obviously, it's by the end of the video is the end goal, but I like to do it in one, so I don't know, maybe we'll see, but I'll see you guys at the start of year number 2. After a pretty crazy offseason where we went ahead and made many major changes to this team, we are finally ready for year 2 here in Phoenix. Last season, we were the worst team in the league, ended up with the number 1 overall pick, made a plethora of trades, and we are ready to go for hopefully a very, very good season. Now, definitely something to keep in mind, I did trade away my unprotected first this year. I don't think there's really any chance we'll suck, but in the rare case we do, definitely somewhat of a risk. So here's how it's going to look. It's John Morant and Jalen Green in the backcourt. Obviously made the big trade for Jalen Green this offseason. Pairing him up next to John Morant. OG Anunoby was a free agent acquisition. He is our new small forward. We obviously drafted Ron Holland, number 1 overall, and then traded for Jarrett Allen. So we have 4 new starters out of the starting 5, which is kind of crazy, but it is 2K. Trey Jones will remain off the bench as our 6th man, newly signed to Kyle Anderson. We still have Cam Whitmore now getting some playing time, Luke Kennard, and then Adas Mara, who we drafted, like 11th overall, something like that. So we're in a pretty good spot right now. I like this team quite a bit. I'm hoping it's going to work out. I really think it will. I'll see you guys at the end of year 2. We wrap up our 2nd season here in Phoenix with a record of 54-28. Now, I have no idea if that was the best regular season record or not. I'm assuming it was near the top. Things tend to even out a little bit in a fantasy draft. We'll find out. Luka Doncic, first career MVP. He's a member of the Washington Wizards. Ron Holland actually wins the Rookie of the Year for us. I don't mean actually like he should, and he went number 1 overall, but great to see. Nonetheless, I like that 3-point percentage to go up a bit, but good. Paolo Banchero is coming off the bench in Cleveland. Okay. Anthony Davis is your depoy. Tyrese Maxey most improved. Dude, talk about a heck of a season in real life so far. Oh my God. Tyrese Maxey is out to a flaming start. Oh, it's insane. Kevin Durant's your clutch player of the year, and Jason Kidd is your coach of the year, so it is not the best record in the league. So even if we win it all this year, the challenge is not complete. You have to have both the regular season record and the championship. It's unfortunate. It is what it is. This was a building year anyways. We're actually a 4 seed here in the West. Looks like the Western Conference is pretty good. We would have been the 1 seed over there in the East. Not that that would have mattered. It's all of the NBA, but it is what it is. We can still go ahead and try to compete this year, even though none of it really matters too much. So here's a look at the numbers on the season. Everything looks relatively kind of what I was expecting. And yeah, let's just get into the playoffs. We have the Oklahoma City Thunder here in round 1. Taking a look at their team, we got Bones Highland, Donovan Mitchell, Zach LaVine, Keegan Murray, our old friend Clint Capella, who we traded, never played a game for us, and a really talented bench there. So this is definitely a challenge here in round 1. Not an easy first round matchup whatsoever. We are currently 2-2. We go down 3-2, go into game 7, and we get bounced in round 1. So this is a very important offseason. We have to decide, is the majority of this core kind of good enough to go out and win a championship and be the best team in the NBA for the regular season? I don't know. I don't know if it is. LeBron retires. He was a Celtic. Chris Paul is a Piston. Kyle Lowry a Laker. I think we definitely obviously have a lot of talent here. That kind of goes without being said. I just don't know if we can keep everybody. So it's going to obviously be a big decision. We will get to it eventually. Let's sim through the draft lottery. It is the Bulls, the Clippers, the Raptors, the Celtics, and the Pelicans. In terms of staff signing, am I comfortable enough? Actually, he's gone. Yeah, we're going to go get Stauffer. I think he'll help a lot with today's video. And, well, you know what? He's not helping with anything. All right. Shit. Underwood's been really good for me, and he'll probably be the guy I end up going with. I just want to see if there's anybody better here with, like, any crazy ratings for whatever reason. Yeah, I'm not really seeing anybody. So, you know what? It's going to be a Jacob Underwood day. Maybe doesn't have the exact ratings of Stauffer, but I've done really good with Jacob Underwood in the past, and I'm excited to have him here entering our final regular season. So we are up to the draft right now. We do have the 15th overall pick from the Charlotte Hornets. So we ended up with, what, the 11th and 15th overall pick in back-to-back drafts for Kristaps Porzingis. A little tough. Would have been nice to keep him, but you know what? It is what it is. So, yeah, I mean, there could be a draft trade. I might draft somebody. I have no idea, so hang with me. I'm trying to pull off a big one right now with the Hornets and get Kristaps Porzingis back. I think, honestly, he'd be a really good player and fit this team really well. Not to say Ron Holland wasn't good in his rookie season. Obviously, he won a Rookie of the Year. But when I have to really lock it down, have both the best regular season record and win a championship, I really need to solidify that. So I did not think that offer was going to go through. That's not what I meant to do. That would have been shocking. In terms of what else I can offer, I mean, I have a lot of draft picks. It's the final season. Oh, wow, that's it. Okay, cool. Welcome back, Kristaps Porzingis, I guess. I mean, obviously never really played for us, but was a Sun at one point in time. In this video, Cam Whitmore is going to be coming back. We do have to figure out our bench a little bit more. Jalen Green is also a free agent. Definitely got to make sure we get him back. And, yeah, I mean, other than that, there's really nothing major coming. I do want to bring back Trey Jones. I think he's a really good six-man for this team. And other than that, that's pretty much it. So, yeah, let's see who we can maybe sign in free agency to replace two of the bench players we just traded away. And let's just see right now. So we're good at the point guard spot. I do got to get a backup shooting guard. Got to decide if OG Anunoby is good enough. I think there's definitely a case that he is. Whether or not I don't know, because 2K doesn't really like OG Anunoby. It's very strange. Now, I don't necessarily need him to come in here and score 20 a game, but I mean, if I'm getting an offer for him that's like really, really good, I might have to take it. I don't know. Oh, I'm hesitant right now. I really don't know what exactly I want to do. None of these offers are good. These all kind of stink, to be straight up honest with you. I mean, what if I threw up like him and like Mara? Just curious. Like Middleton. Shaden Sharp, low-key progresses really well. This is a hard one to decline. I'll say that. Because we're also getting Zubats here, who's an upgrade behind Jared Allen and replacing Mara. And I think Shaden Sharp will honestly be a higher overall, if not the same, at the start of next year. So I might have to take that. You know what? We're taking it. We're taking a risk. OG Anunoby was obviously, you know, kind of filled his role for us, but heading into a final year here, I think Shaden Sharp's going to give us a little bit more of a boost. I do. And obviously, it's good getting Zubats off the bench, too. So, Ron Holland, former #1 overall pick, who just won a Rookie of the Year, will now be the backup to Porzingis. We have Sharp. We have Whitmore. We really just need to figure out a backup shooting guard at this point. So, not really loving any of these options here, to be quite honest with you. How about, you know what? I'm actually going to sign Terrence Mann. He actually, I think, goes up a few overalls, the backup shooting guard spot, if you move him to shooting guard. So let's go ahead and sign Terrence Mann. And, yeah, it goes up to a 79. So welcome to the team. All right, man, we are all set. We obviously made some changes once again, some major changes. And I'm willing to risk it. I think this team has the talent. So I'll see you guys at the start of the third and final regular season. It is now the start of the final regular season here for us in Phoenix. Last year we had a really good season. Unfortunately, really didn't have the best record or make it very far in the playoffs. We went ahead and made some changes, and this team is looking really, really good. So, in terms of the starting five, John Morant, Jalen Green remained the backcourt. Obviously, went ahead and made the trade for Shaden Sharp. Went ahead and moved on from OG Anunoby. He fit his role. Just honestly, I went ahead for the upgrade. We also picked up him and Zubats. Kristaps Porzingis, welcome back to Phoenix, and then Jared Allen still here locking down that center spot. Ron Holland takes over as the sixth man off the bench. Again, maybe if this was a 5, 6, 7, 8, whatever your rebuild, he could say he could progress, and he'd probably be great. But I just don't know if he's good enough for, you know, a team that has to be best record and championship. We'll see. Zubats followed by him, Cam Whitmore, Trey Jones, and Terrence Mann. So I like this team quite a bit. I think we're in a really good spot. If, you know, for whatever reason, we're not on pace to be really good, and I just don't think this team has the talent, we'll have to make some sort of midseason trade, and if that happens, I'll obviously show you guys. But I like this group. I think the talent is here. I'll see you guys at the end of the final regular season. Our final regular season was a good one. We went 68-14, and I'm assuming, anyways, that's probably the best regular season record. John Morant also won an MVP. That's typically a good sign. We'll find out. Cooper Flagg's your Rookie of the Year. He is a Chicago Bull. Fred VanVleet, Sixth Man of the Year in Philadelphia. Jaren Jackson Jr., New York Knick, is your Defensive Player of the Year. Jacoby Walter, Most Improved. Damian Lillard, Clutch Player of the Year. Jacob Underwood, Coach of the Year at 68-14. Again, as I mentioned, typically a good sign. Sometimes things can be a little tricky, though. We're the 1 seed here in the West, and we did have the best record overall. So, only thing left to do is go out and win a championship. If we can do that, the challenge is complete. If not, we fail the rebuild. So, I'm thinking we probably can. We obviously have the talent to do it. Just got to not choke. The Thunder beat us last year. I think this team is still good. I just think we're better. So can we beat them pretty easily? Thank you. Moving on to the Western Conference semifinals, it is Damian Lillard and the Sacramento Kings, who have a pretty talented group, if I do say so myself. That is a pretty good starting five right there. And can we get by the Kings here in the semifinals? We are just, okay. Well, we just blew the doors off them. Now it is the Memphis Grizzlies here in the Western Conference Finals. Scotty Barnes, Evan Mobley, 2 rookies from 2021. How is Jaden Ivey not in the starting lineup? Someone want to explain that to me? Also, haven't the Pistons not actually been starting Jaden Ivey in real life? Has Killian Hayes been starting at shooting guard for the Pistons? Monty Williams needs to be fired. Oh my God, I did not mean to do that. All right, we are 1-1 right now. We actually go down 2-1. We tie it up 2-2. That's a big game. We go up 3-2, and we're going to game 7. I do not want to have to hop into this game. I would rather save it for the finals, but if I absolutely have to try to clutch it out, I will. Hold on here. Come on, fellas. All right, we're good. We're going to the NBA Finals here, and we're going to be taking on Victor Wembanyama in the Charlotte Hornets. Obviously, we went ahead and traded them Kristaps Porzingis to open the video. We traded back for him last offseason, and yeah, I mean, insane. Well, Victor Wembanyama and Tyrese Maxey's scary. The rest of the team is pretty good. I think we're better. I really do. We're up 3-0. Clean sweep. Clean sweep. Ja Morant is your finals MVP, and the challenge is complete. My first of the year, worst to first rebuild challenge is complete, and it was a success. Sometimes I fail these, so, you know, it's a relatively easy challenge in kind of the grand scheme of things, but it's a bad note if you're starting out by failing this first one. So I'm happy we got it done. But yeah, man, I do one of these probably every couple of months. I typically tend to do about 4 or 5, maybe 6 of these through every cycle of 2K, and I really do enjoy them. So hopefully you guys are enjoying them as well. And yeah, I'll probably see you guys, you know, maybe at the start of 2024 with another one of these if you guys really want to see it. But yeah, this one was fun. I hope you guys enjoyed. I know I did. In terms of other rebuild challenges, if you guys have any ideas, make sure to let me know down below in the comment section. Obviously, you know, there are some challenges I do year in and year out, and I'm always going to do those. But I know you guys are creative and have ideas, so make sure to let me know that down below in the comment section. But yeah, man, that is it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed. As always, thanks so much for watching. I love you guys. I'll catch you guys all in the next one.